Your problems are your fault.
Bang.
Boom. Alright, hey guys, this is the Green Pill. So today we just want to talk about how the situations you're in, a lot of times, are your fault. Now we're not talking specifically about circumstances that are out of your control, like which family you were born into, which country you were born at, stuff like that. But we're talking about once you have the ability to make decisions, after a certain period of time, the situations you're in are very much your fault.
Facts, man. Like, I was just looking at like the Instagram of my old friend back from high school, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man comes from like a bad background. You
Yeah.
know, like not at all stable.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, man, he'd just be like struggling to find lunch for the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like really bad. And I just see him and he's grinding. Like I haven't met him since like high school. You know.
Yeah.
But like we stayed in contact or whatever, and just seeing his progression, he got himself a girl, then he got himself a house. I really think the girl did a lot for him.
I think she did help him
finding
a lot.
like that one stable girl. I don't know the details, but
We
like
don't
I
know
just
the girl
see
like
him.
that,
I just
yeah.
see him, and like ever since that girl came into his life, it's just
been
like
a
he
come up.
transformed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got like a stable job,
Yeah.
and he seems so happy. You know,
Very
like
much. Very much.
and it's just like just seeing that.
No, I saw it on
like-
Snapchat the other day. He was working. He's like just grinding on the piping.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. He posted like a thing of his piping,
Yeah.
and I was just like, dang, bro. You know, he comes from a background that's really tough, and he's
Yeah.
out there being like a man. You know, being a dependable person,
Very much.
despite like all the stuff. And I've seen like all the stuff that he went through back in the day
Yeah,
when we were
yeah.
younger. He wasn't making wise decisions himself, but also he came from a horrible background. And now just to see him getting that come up and just living a stable, happy life, he looks happier than ever. You know, he used to come and he'd be like sad or like
Yeah.
stressed out. It's like I'm sure that there's still bad things going on in his life because there's bad things in everyone's life, you know.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're always gonna struggle. That's in Islam.
There's
That's
always
just the
gonna
truth,
be
you know?
like outside circumstances that affect you, right? Like you can't change what other people are gonna do. You can over time guide people in a certain direction, but you can't change what other people are gonna do. You can't make decisions for them. They're gonna make decisions on their own.
Facts.
And there was a quote, right, by Marcus Aurelius, where you have power over your mind, not outside events. So realize this, and you will find true strength. And that's really where, like, a lot of Stoic philosophy, there's many quotes in Stoicism like this, right? But a lot of it is about, like, stop trying to control factors that you can't control, because you aren't going to be able to control them, right? You have to control the factors that you can control, like your own life. So, your own life, your own decisions, making a path for yourself is really key. And it's something that anyone can do. You can choose to make the right decision each day, right? And like, you might not always be making the right decision. Some days you might make not a great decision. Some days you might make neutral decisions, right? But if you're consistently making better and better decisions, you will see long-term results on that.
Yeah, it's that age-old thing that like, it used to be hung up in like elementary school and middle school walls, and it's the truth that, you know, watch your words because they become your actions.
Ooh.
Watch your actions because they become your habits, and watch your habits because they become your destiny, or it said something along that line.
I feel like there's an Islamic quote along those lines too.
I'm not sure. There might be.
I don't remember it exactly.
But
But is it Islamic or Confucian? Yeah.
makes sense. But you see that happening, like when you grow up, you start seeing that happening like live in front of your eyes. You see, like, you make, whether it's to you, you know, you make one bad decision and then that, or you just have a bad thought, it becomes a decision. Over time, those decisions do become habits, and before you know it, you're in a completely different place than what you expected to find yourself in, you know?
Yeah. And that's really, like, what we're trying to advocate here, right, is for you to take control of your own life. It's not something that, like, it's something anyone can do at the end of the day. You just have to, like, realize that first step, like, hey, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I want to be. Like, if you're living in circumstances that you don't like, then you can do a lot to change it. The other day, like, so if you look at our old videos, the camera quality isn't as good, right? First two videos. We just bought a new camera setup. We did all that. We were talking to the guy over at Best Buy, right, about different cameras, and I noticed he had a tattoo, right? And it was from Dishonored, the game, if any of you guys know about that. And then
It was like the Corvo tattoo.
sick. So sick. Right? So I was like, yo, that's a sweet tattoo. And he was like, oh yeah, I got it because it shows me how much I've changed changed my life from then, and how far I've come. Because back then I was, and he said it like as a joke. He's like, I was living in a tree fighting crime, right? And like we all knew what it meant, but like Mans was down bad, and he took his time. He was talking to us there. He has his own camera class, right? He teaches camera classes. He teaches videography, photography, all that.
And works at the Best Buy.
And
honestly, he was like, I don't think he was like the happiest guy in the world, but just to see,
he was
I think he could see that, like, you know, alhamdulillah, basically, like,
like
you know, that's how I
gratitude.
think about, like, gratitude for where he was, you know, and it's like, man, just like, I think the number one test for people nowadays in terms of working hard and choosing your happiness is the fight of staying off the internet, you know? Ooh. And that's like, cause like you can literally work a 9 to 5 and then spend the rest of your life just glued to your screen.
You can spend your whole 9 to 5 on the internet.
Yeah, you can spend your whole 9 to 5 on the internet and then go home and then like spend the rest of the time just scrolling through shorts and TikTok or whatever else you like.
Wasting your life away, dude.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be bitter. You're gonna be typing in the comments some bitter things, hating on people, and just this general negativity that people have. I think a lot of it comes from bitterness of seeing people working harder than you, you know, and seeing people's like no matter what position in life you are, unless you're literally like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, there's gonna be people above you,
even for
below you, you know?
The two of them, right?
Yeah, they're constantly raising
back and forth, right?
Exactly, but I mean, I don't think they're like in such different sectors. I
don't think it matters to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm sure every now and then
I think Jeff Bezos might care a bit more, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But they'd be like, "Hey, Lauren, you see me? I'm bigger than Elon right now."
It's gonna go away in a few days, buddy. But yeah, like I think the biggest fight is.
But he's not bigger. Elon's already bigger, by the way.
But that's only in stocks. I feel like Bezos.
No, I think in terms of overall wealth.
Yeah, I think that's most of
Elon's wealth is in stocks.
Yeah. But yeah, I think everyone just needs to learn that one thing. If you literally just get off the internet and like swear, like I'm only gonna spend half an hour, 1 hour, whatever that may be on the internet a day, you can literally change your life so quick. And it's something, you know, to this day I have to do. Yeah. Even though, like, I do think I'm on a better track than I've ever been in my life, I still have to check myself every day because it's too accessible, you know?
No, it's
You can go on your computer, you're doing a work, and before you know it, before you even realize you got YouTube open, you can go on your phone, before you know it, you get a notification, you got a text from your friend, check out this little video I posted, or like, check out this video, it's so funny. And then before you know it, you're down the rabbit hole. Yeah. And it's everywhere. It's almost inescapable.
I feel like
you have that's like number one decision I think that you have to make.
And if you guys are like finding that this is too daunting of a task at first, I say step one very much if we're talking about like visual stimulus social media where you're watching something, right? Mm-hmm. Step one is to watch less shorts.
Yes.
Right?
For a fact.
If you feel like you can't just outright stop, and we're not telling you to outright stop, you can gain a lot of knowledge, right? Through long form content, through even some short form content, but mostly through long form content you can gain a lot of knowledge, right?
I'm literally gonna cut this into a short to tell you guys, get off the shorts right now. You know?
It's because then that's the thing, is a lot of people, they don't have the attention span even to watch something even this long anymore.
No, and even like me, myself, knowing the danger of shorts and actively avoiding them, if on accident I'll click on a short or something really intrigues me and I click on it, after you literally forget, right? And you start scrolling, and then
because they make it, they hire psychologists and people,
and then you're sitting there, and it's like after a few minutes you'll be like, oh, I need to get off this, but it's like almost a whisper in your head,
and you're like, just watch one more.
Yeah, one more, and then you have to like force yourself. So that's why avoiding shorts altogether is key, I believe. Number one thing, because it literally will make you stupid. And like, there's no nice way to say it. It makes you stupid.
Yeah. And once you start avoiding them, right, like for a minute, right, you'll get to that point where you'll like watch 1 or 2 shorts and you'll be like, what am I doing? And you'll just close it out, right? And like, if you start focusing more on long form content, right, whether it's books, whether it's a documentary, whether it's longer YouTube videos, right, podcasts, you'll your brain will train itself to be like, okay, I find longer form content more entertaining.
Yeah.
Right?
And no matter what, like even in terms of entertainment, I actually think long form content is more entertaining in terms of like when you get off of the content, when you stop, whether that's a book or something, you feel a level of satisfaction that is impossible to feel with shorts.
Satisfaction, I've never met knowledge transfer.
I've never met a single person who's like, yeah, I just had such a good short watching session. You know,
you can be like short binge. I learned so much.
You can be like, bro, check out this podcast. It's so interesting. You know, I've done that to people. I've been like, yo, you need to listen to this podcast, or oh, you need to read this book. You need to watch this movie, or even this TV show, whatever it might be. Right?
Yeah.
I've never been like,
you have to watch the short.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, but people do that. But generally, I've noticed it's mostly for like comedic things, right? Like that's the only time you'll see people referencing shorts to one another is like, hey, this is funny.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Either hey, this is funny, or like the only other thing I can think of is like, you know that TikToker, YouTube Shorts guy, I'm Mateen?
Nah.
The one who I always...
The black turban
The
guy?
one who's always wearing a turban, right?
Yeah,
him. He's like... That's like the only other thing I can think of where you send it. Where he'll have like a quick hadith or something.
Bro, honestly, I know,
it's too short.
May Allah reward him, but yeah, I just can't watch that content. It's very... I don't gain knowledge from it. You know, if I'm talking about gaining Islamic knowledge, if I'm talking about gaining knowledge for business, I'm gaining knowledge for reading, whatever it might be. Even a 5-minute video is more beneficial than a short. A 10-minute video is more...
10 seconds almost every
time. A 10-minute video is more beneficial than a 5-minute video, and an hour-long video is more beneficial than a 10-minute video. It's so important, like...
And if you ever watch this, we're not hating on you. We respect the work you do, because it is necessary at the end of the day in today's era.
No matter what, people are going to be watching shorts, and you
you're
know,
doing
it's better.
good.
Yeah, you're doing good. May Allah reward him.
May Allah reward you.
But I'm going to talk a bit...
I hope that plane doesn't...
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm gonna talk a bit about my high school experience because I think this is some important to talk. Like, I think it's a good anecdote for this general concept, because when I was in high school, I was like pretty depressed. You know, I was like not social. I was not very happy. I had like nothing really going on. I wasn't working. I think around my senior year, around my junior senior year, I was working out again. But like early high school, no working out or very little working out, and like I didn't care about school or anything. And looking back, like back then, I thought, oh man, I'm so depressed, whatever. Now that I think back on it, it's like, no, I wasn't doing any of the actions which would get me to a better place. So I felt guilty, and of course, the hormones kind of like thing where it's like, the worse I'm doing for myself, or like these habits that I'm doing that are taking away from my mental health, of course it's gonna damage my mental, like the hormones as well, you know? It's gonna damage the hormones as well.
Literally just about this today where I was talking about like how like kids today, I'm pretty sure it's First Man again. He always comes back on here somehow. But like he was talking about like how like nowadays like so many parents will take their kids to like the psychiatrist and be like, oh, my kid has anxiety. It's like, duh, your kid has anxiety. He's like 9. He's not gonna be able to like talk in front of like a whole group of people. Or like,
I mean, a 9-year-old can if you train him to do that. He's gonna have anxiety over the things you guys aren't providing for him.
No.
Or for the things he's not doing, you know?
Even if like he is in that situation, like when you're at a spelling bee, right? Yeah. Or like, for example, like the things that we would do, something along those lines, right? When we were a kid. Right? It's your first time doing something like that.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bit of, not like anxiety, but like apprehension, like, oh, what if I mess up?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And that's going to just happen through life.
Yeah.
And it's
There's always going to be a first something.
Yeah. And then like, or like, for example, what you were talking about, the reason I remembered that video is he talked about like so many guys like 18 will still be like, oh, I have anxiety, I have depression. It's like, and he said like word for word, and like, I know you haven't watched that video, right? You don't watch him, right? Yeah. But it was like word for word, almost the exact same thing of like you haven't done anything.
Yeah, no, literally, I remember I went to college, right? Yeah. And I was like, okay, right around my senior year, I started taking things more seriously. Senior year of high school, and I was just like, I need to start doing a bit better for myself, right? Yeah. I need to start showing up for myself. Yeah. And I started working hard in school, but I was so used to like not doing it that I couldn't manage to get anything more than like C's, because like first semester of my semester of my senior year, I didn't care at all. And second semester I started caring, so I brought my like F's up to C's, you know what I'm saying? Like D's up to C's and like B's.
Hey, C's
and
make
then,
degrees.
Yeah, I know. And then I went to college and I took the summer break, and during that time, I didn't really do much, but I was just like, I'm not letting high school happen again. What happened in high school is not going to happen again. Went to college, and literally from the first semester forward, I was a straight A student. You know,
straight
like,
A throughout college,
and I didn't,
college,
yeah, and it's not like I was taking different types of classes, and I exposed myself to so many different things. You know, I did like the MSA. I was president of the MSA. I would do symposiums. I did like an archaeology dig. I did like a lot of stuff. I exposed myself to a lot of new experiences, and I didn't let myself hold myself back. I started working out more, started taking care of my mental health. And like the number one thing after I say getting off of technology is to just find goals, set those goals, and pursue those goals relentlessly.
100%.
Especially as a man, right? Especially as a man, we are so goal driven, and we're taught that we aren't. We're taught that you need to find some sort of satisfaction somewhere else. I do think that only focusing on goals is a bad thing.
No, 100%.
And it's a tendency for like, I think, very masculine men to only focus on goals and try to find. I don't think you'll ever find happiness there. Obviously, we have religion for that. You know, like us two at least, and like Muslims in general. Like that's where I find my inner peace, and that's where I'm like, okay, no matter what happens, I'm good because I'm good with God. You know, but I'm good with God, but I'm still on earth right now, you know?
Yeah.
So as long as I'm on earth, I'm going to be grinding.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, you know? That's like, I think the key point.
Very much. No, I agree. I agree with everything you're saying. And I think that's where like the green pill does differ from a lot of red pill. Is like, we want you to find that balance without pulling in hedonism into the mix, right? Like with like, be goal driven, right? But your goal shouldn't be, I want to be goal driven so I can just be a degenerate.
Yeah.
Right? It's be goal driven, find purpose, use that purpose to do good and to enjoy life in ways that aren't destructive to yourself or to others, aren't destructive to the next generation, aren't destructive to society.
Yeah, no, the modern secular world is all about maximizing pleasure, and that's why Red Pill came up. They were like, yo, if you guys maximize your the tiny pleasures of life, like
you won't
beating
get the
your
big
meat
pleasure.
and beating your meat and like scrolling on your phone and stuff, you guys are holding yourself back from the true pleasure of this world. So you guys gotta maximize your stoicism so that you can reach a point where you can maximize hedonism, so you can finally be a hedonistic man. I don't know, heathen? No, I don't know. A hedonistic man without suffering the consequences of your own hedonism. And so because of that,
and it's like, tell me, I'm gonna be honest, like no hate to the guy, but like you see like Dan Bilzerian, right? And you're like, is that really who you want to be? Like I feel like most men would be like, yeah, that's cool. He has a cool life.
He's got a giant beard.
I don't even like.
I don't like his beard at all. I just had to throw it in there.
Yeah, but like they'll be like, oh, he's that, and like he's like one of the top tier, like not top tier, like top value men out there, right? In terms of like all the goals that Red Pill sets for you, he's achieved every single one. Right? But you just don't like him. I don't like him.
No one likes him. I don't know.
No one likes him.
I'm not saying that I don't even hate him, right? But
I've met like 2 people.
Yeah, Derek. More plates, more dates.
Does he like him?
He did like a video with him.
I think he likes him. I think First Man's okay with him.
Yeah.
Right? And then you remember Jason from high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like was like, I'm going to become Dan Bilzerian.
He looks kind of similar.
That's why I think he wants it.
But
it's because he is Greek and Dan Bilzerian's like Armenian. They're like close enough. Yeah.
Facts. But yeah, like I'm not even trying to hate on that guy at all.
No,
like,
no,
I have
no
negative.
But that's just not like
no one ever looks at Dan Bilzerian and is like, man, he's like my goal in life. I've never met a single person. You said like Jason, but other than that,
yeah, that's it. And like, have you ever seen that video of him where it's like, I think there's like a country, what are those things called? Country concert, like bash where there's like a shooting happened. Oh, damn. And he like runs up to one of the cops there who's like trying to like return fire or whatever, right? Yeah. He's like, "Give me a gun, I'm trained." It was so cringe. And the cop's like, "No, get out of here. What are you doing?" Yeah. He's like, "No, I've been trained by like SEAL Team 6 or something." It's like, bro.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, did he really expect the cop to give him the gun?
Like, even if
you've been trained, bro? I'm gonna take your word for it.
Like, even if you've been trained.
If you've been trained, you know not to say something dumb like that.
Yeah, like, that's the type of thing. It's like, you wouldn't find, like a high-class, like, true high-value man, right? Like, a man who's worth the salt wouldn't be doing stuff like that. He'd be like, okay, I'm gonna take as many people around me and like secure myself.
You know,
right?
you can be the hero, but you can't be the shooter, bro, because you ain't got the
Yeah,
gun. You ain't the
you
cop.
got
You ain't
the gun,
nothing, bro.
This ain't the situation to do that. Come on.
So
man.
like, yeah, I think. Do you have anything else to add to the topic?
No, I think really that's what it comes down to. Is like, well, I'm gonna recap the beginning. It's like, your problems are your fault. You know what I mean? Like your problems after a certain age in life, right? Let's say around after the age of 18.
For sure. I'd say honestly before that, I'd say probably like
no, but
16.
let's give them the benefit of the doubt. In America, you become an adult at 18, right? After the age of 18, things that happen to you are like 99% of the time, it's your consequences. And we're talking about things like again, just to recap, things that you, like that happen because of your actions, right? And that's generally most things. Now, if someone else does something to you, that's...
I'll say this, even if something horrible happens to you, you have to decide how to deal with it.
You have the choice,
You can always make it worse, and a lot of people do make it worse.
And that is...
And very few people make the decision to make it better. Your problem, your fault.
Yeah.
You know,
you can wallow in the sadness.
When Andrew Tate got canceled off the internet completely, you know, like obliterated from the internet, he was just like, you know, I'm taking responsibility. It was my fault that I even spoke in that way, that they could take it out of context. And it wasn't his fault, you know? That they took it out of context, that's not his fault.
Yeah.
But he's like, I have to take the responsibility because I still said those words. I should have known better. You know, I should have known better, you know? And it's like, that's the level. There's so many things I disagree with. There's a lot of things I like about him. I think he's hilarious. And I think he's right about some things, but I think he's wrong about a lot of things. We can get into that some other day, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
But that level of responsibility for actions is unmatched and so uncommon in this world, you know?
Definitely.
So uncommon nowadays. Like, oh, something happened to me. Nowadays it's always the victim game. It's always the blame game, you know?
Yeah. Stop being a victim. Take responsibility for your actions. This video's gone long enough. We don't want to bore you guys too much. Start watching long form content. Get off the shorts. And
take the shahada. Take the green pill. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.